Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? I've just spotted a mistake in the title sequence. Thankfully, we'll cut that off before later. How am I? To be entirely honest, it couldn't be better. I feel like this show has truly come of age in the past week and a bit. It seems that there is an even greater appetite out there for our warts and all coverage of the demolition and construction industry than I ever believed possible. And I've received more calls and messages of support this past week than I have in years, which is great to hear. Of course, turning that into advertising revenue is virtually impossible, but as the saying goes, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So without further ado, let me post the question of the day, which is back. Roll the intro and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It is Monday, the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to all our American viewers, and well done on having the foresight to distance yourself from the dog and pony show that is now the UK. As that remarkably persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony, and as people seem to love a title in this industry, starting today, I'm declaring myself the Lord High Priest of Demolition. Let it be known. In today's show, the Federation and the Queen, how even long-term leaders can find themselves at odds with public sentiment. The Caterpillar D11 for when push comes to shove. Is it coming or is it going? The dual-view dumper from Wacker Neuson. A man defends his son with an excavator and just makes things a whole lot worse. And we're going to be joined by Builders Conference CEO Neil Edwards as we look back on the construction contract awards recorded during the month of June 2022. And as if that weren't enough, you can read my latest weekly column using the link in the chat. It's called Demolition is Broken, and I think the title probably gives you a pretty good clue as to what it's all about. We'll get to all of that in just a second, but first let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And it's many happy returns to Giuseppe Garibaldi, Italian general and a damn fine biscuit, and to former US President Calvin Coolidge. Happy birthday also to mafia accountant Meyer Lansky, to Argentine football legend Alfredo Di Stefano, and to playwright Neil Simon, to the singer Bill Withers, and to DJs David Kid Jensen and Joe Wiley. Oh, and a very happy birthday to Tony Piggott, formerly of Kokuric Excavators, a man I only ever seem to run into at just about every construction equipment exhibition in the world. Many happy returns to them, one and all, but particularly to Tony. I realise that this show is supposed to be all about demolition and construction equipment, but based on the level of views and the positive comments it received, there is also a bit of an appetite for the occasional history lesson. On Friday last week, that lesson related to the US. Today's history lesson, however, comes from a lot closer to home. It comes from right here in the UK. On the 31st of August 1997, Princess Diana, the self-appointed Queen of our Hearts, was killed in a car accident in France. Despite an unprecedented outpouring of national grief, it would be almost a week before the real Queen saw fit to return to London from her holiday home in Balmoral, Scotland. Her refusal to fly the Union flag at half-mast over Buckingham Palace and her refusal to cut short her vacation saw the Queen perceived as out of touch, cold and unfeeling. The British public are anyone's for a long weekend and a street party, however, so this was largely written out of history before the Golden and subsequently the Platinum Jubilee celebrations. But the Queen was apparently very nervous when she eventually returned back in London on the 5th of September 1997, the day before Princess Diana's funeral. According to at least one royal correspondent, the first thing she would have heard as she went walkabout among her subjects gathered outside the gates of Buckingham Palace was not the usual cheers, but the words, "About bloody time." That entire scene will be recreated this week, only there will be no deceased princesses, no floral tributes, and no walkabouts. It will be reenacted with the Competition and Markets Authority investigation in the role of Princess Diana. The members of the NFDC are cast as the British public. The NFDC itself will appropriately play the Queen, aloof and distant, out of touch with its subjects, and seemingly more focused upon self-preservation. The venue will be markedly different too. While the Queen faced her public at the gates of Buckingham Palace, the NFDC will face its public in the Midlands, the venue for a meeting of the Midlands and Welsh region. It's an appropriate location. The Midlands region includes Birmingham, the UK's second city. It is also home to some very good and widely respected demolition contractors. AR Demolition, Armac Demolition, Coleman and Company, Total Reclaims, and of course the company of the incumbent NFDC president himself, William Corwalden. It is also home to the only demolition contractor from outside of London to be named by the CMA, DSM Group. Assuming that a representative from Demolition's answer to Balmoral Castle, Resurgam House, does deign to attend the meeting, they can expect a reception. They can expect a reception that extends way beyond about bloody time. The members of the Midlands and Welsh region will, I am sure, come prepared with their own set of questions. Among them, I hope, will be, why have you said so little and done even less about the CMA revelations? When are you planning to expel those that have admitted involvement and brought the Federation into disrepute? Why have you been willing to jeopardise the reputation of the many to protect the few? And how are you going to safeguard the relationships with the likes of Build UK and the CITB when you are failing to act in this matter? Of course, they might also choose to ask, how has that Mark Anthony bloke single-handedly got the NFDC more coverage in a week than our highly paid marketing department that's accomplished in 3 years? They probably have more pressing matters on their mind. Perhaps the most important question, however, is currently difficult to ask and virtually impossible to answer. How do you go about mending the Federation's tarnished reputation? We're not there yet. The 8 companies that have put up their hands in the aftermath of the CMA scandal are currently continuing along their merry way, seemingly with the tacit approval of the senior ranks of the NFDC. So long as that situation is allowed to continue, there will be no mending, no healing. There can be no stage-managed platinum jubilee in which past transgressions are just glossed over. The disquiet among members will continue until some meaningful action is taken. There has long been a feeling among NFDC members in the Scottish, North East, North West and Midlands regions that the Federation was run by and for members in London. The fact that 9 of the 10 companies named by the CMA probe are based in the nation's capital, and the fact that the NFDC has failed to act, merely serves to confirm that long-held suspicion. So where does all that leave us, and are there any lessons we can learn from history and from the Princess Diana saga? Well, there has certainly been a move over the years to make the royal family seem more in touch, warmer, less distant. There's been a marked modernisation, a notable step away from tradition and an eagerness to engage with the modern world. There's been a move to push the younger and more dynamic royals to the fore. But it all began when the Queen returned to London on the 5th of September 1997, the day before Princess Diana's funeral. Her return was long overdue, but it demonstrated an admission that she'd got it wrong, that she'd misjudged the mood of the nation. The hope now is that the members of the NFDC's Midlands and Welsh region can convince the NFDC to relent in a similar manner. And perhaps it's worth reminding them what the great philosopher Spock once said.
The needs of the many outweigh
the needs of the few.
Or the one.
Well said, Spock. Well said. The Caterpillar D11 is arguably the most iconic machine in the field of construction equipment. It is the very epitome of pushing power, a true feat of engineering excellence. Well, we have a new film featuring the mighty Cat D11. So sit back and enjoy this. There are many cool jobs in the world. West Ham player, CEO of the Builders Conference, but I think D11 operator is right up there with the coolest of them all. Incidentally, and I'm absolutely kicking myself that I didn't think of this. Gary Muirhead, I think there will be a few at the NFDC that wish they could say, beam me up, Scotty. How on earth did I miss that? Well done, Gary.
Axoft and Svantec are your high-end partners for noise, vibration, dust and air quality systems, sensors and software. To find out more, visit axoft.co.uk or call 01234 639 550.
Just last week, you might recall that we brought you details of the Mechalak Revo truck that is due to be launched at the Bauma exhibition. But if you can't wait that long for a machine that combines the virtues of both a site dumper and an ADT, there is an alternative. I don't know about you, but I don't think I'd know if I was coming or going.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
Right, it's almost time to get Neil Edwards on the show, but we do have time for one more clip. The clip comes all the way from Vermont in the good old US of A. And it's an object lesson in how not to react when the police come to arrest your offspring.
A Vermont man is facing charges after police say he tried to attack them with heavy machinery. This video is incredible. Look closely behind the patrol vehicle there. That's an excavator driving up. State police say they were trying to arrest a 24-year-old man for a prior incident, and video shows the man's mother getting into a scuffle with troopers as they tried to arrest her son. Well, the man's father got into that excavator and swung the scoop at police. He's now facing a number of charges.
Not sure what offended me most about that. The actions, the fact that she called it an excavator or referred to it as a scoop. In years to come, when you look up the term escalation in the dictionary, I think you'll find a picture of that very incident.